It seems that I had reasons for not taking trades this morning. How long does it take to learn those reasons? DP time. Dan and I, we have exactly the same philosophy. I just want, if I have one trade a day, I'm very happy, because when I go into that trade, unsure what I'm going to do about it, I take the trade. If that thing has size, if I can take size, I take size. I take as much as I can, because I wait and I look at the setup, and if it's liquid enough, I go with it. If we have 2, 3 trades, this is great. So it's not like, it may sound to the new traders that sometimes we talk ourselves out of the trades, but it's not. We're just waiting for the trade to come to us, for the setup to come to us. I don't know if you would have, by now, every single one of you must have watched the masterclass. So you remember the analogy that we made about the lion, right? You don't go and try to push buying breakouts or just putting your chest out there to get, the first bullet. No, you wait for them to come to you. There's my grandfather used to say that the people in the war, in Second World War, the first ones to die, of course, was the one that are going to running into the enemy trenches, trying to shoot or stab them with the bayonet. Of course, you're going to get, because you don't know exactly what kind of territory you're running into when you go into the unknown. Just wait for something to come to you. And by the time, in this case, the stock is already getting exhausted, and then you take that trade. And then you go and bang it, because you're not going against a moving train that, it has a momentum. No. And by the way, then you say, okay, you can buy breakouts. How do you know when the momentum ends? We know because we have these indicators, these beautiful lines in our charts telling us when it's about. Look at this. Tired, come down. Came down a lot. Okay, enough sellers, now it bounced. Oh, going up, got tired, came down. Going up, tired, came down too much. Now, we have right here in our face, guys. You don't have to guess. It's like it's a map being presented to you. So I know a lot of people like to trade because the excitement and that's go somewhere else to do that. Somewhere else, go to a casino, go find a guy that is 6'8", look in his face and tell him you look like a girl, if you like, strong emotions. On trading, you have this right in front of you. You don't have to risk unnecessary good money into something that you're not sure. You need to have the highest chances of success when you take those trades. And that's here where you showing to you guys, okay? I trade a lot of stocks and a lot of futures. Chart D3000. Any given week, I trade in futures. For example, in March, there were at least 5 days that I was trading 500 contracts at a time on the ES. That's why I had such a huge amount. But that's because we have so much volatility now. On normal times, which was 3-4 weeks ago, I trade mainly stocks, and I do futures as well. But because I wait for those main strong levels to come in, I might make 1 or 2 trades a week on futures. Whether until 3 or 4 days ago, I was making 2-3 trades a day on futures. We have people here. We have a couple of people that make a couple of million a year trading, and they use other strategies as well, but they use this one, and they like I do. When some of them, when they see a setup they like, they go extremely heavy into these trades and these positions. But so my point is, you can do really well with trading. You can make a lot of money, but this is not something that you can just take lightly. It's something that you're going to learn in a day and two, and you're going to be doing. We talk about that life-changing occupation that you can start doing if you start this right way, right? And to be able to do that, you need to learn, and not just learn in theory. You need to live every moment, every move, how you move to a certain level. You have to go through that emotion that is gets you there, and that, you know, that feeling of nervousness is going to start to get lighter and lighter as time goes by. Of course, sometimes I get nervous because there are trades that I go, I mean, some of the yes trades that I was taking last month, each tick that would move was $5,000 tick, or to a point was $5,000, and move up and down a point and two, like 10 times in a minute. So I'll be up 5 minus 10 plus 15 minus, you know, so it all depends the size that you're taking. So yeah, it can be very nerve-wracking, but you know how much pain, how much you can take, now how big the cross you can carry or whatever. So, but you have to always keep pushing yourself a little more, otherwise you're always going to be in the same place, right? So once you get to a level that's comfortable, everything makes sense, you just go a little heavier, and then you get used to that. You know, from a plateau you go a little bigger in size, you increase by 5%, by 10% the size, but you always have to be pushing yourself a little more. But to be able to get that level, you need to have consistency. You're not going to be pushing yourself if you're losing money, right? So, and to be able to get that consistency is only by being so comfortable, so used to it, that becomes second nature. I always use this analogy. I'm so sorry, let me get some water. I always use this analogy that when I was young, I used to practice judo, okay? And when I started, pretty much in the first month, my sensei, and listen, I wasn't good. I wasn't good. The only thing for me was stubborn, always stubborn. It's someone, you know, if they got me in a position, they beat me, I was strongly stubborn that I will fight until I was dead, right? So my sensei, he saw that in me. He's like, you know what? I want you to, you're going to be one of the best judo fighters that I ever seen, but you need to do everything I'm telling you. Okay, you promise? And I'm like, okay. I thought it was going to be like, you know, like Karate Kid kind of thing. It wasn't. It was extremely tough. So we would practice 5 days a week for 3 hours, 5 days a week for 2 hours. What I had to do is like you had someone standing, and I had 3, I don't know the word in English, but 3 like attack position, you know, how was it called? Somebody here help, please. Moves, let me just say move, nobody's saying anything. So poses, moves, thank you, Rob. You guys get my point, but this is very important because it shaped how I am today. And so for 2 hours, I will attack someone with each one of those moves 1,000 times. So by the time the 2 hours are over, I practice each one, all of this combined, 3,000 times. I was doing this 15,000 times a week. Okay, 15,000 times. First time I did, I pretty much passed out in 15 minutes, because you have to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. I was like losing, you know, getting disoriented, and it was extremely hard. But within a month, I was doing fairly comfortable. Within 3 months, I was doing 3,000 non-stop, and I was hurting the kids that I was doing too. I mean, I would do every 100, I would take 1 down. Every 51 down, every 21 down. And got to the point that I was hurting them so bad that I had to replace the kid every 100 positions that I was doing. But why? Because I was getting so good. And I got so good that about 8 months into it, I started going to tournaments. My tournaments were the equivalent of the opening today, of the stock market opening. I will get, the fight starts, I will be done in 5-10 seconds, because I get, you know, judo, you hold on to the person, right, to the kimono. I hold on to the kimono, and I wouldn't think anymore, because my mind was so programmed that to take this, you know, the position, the pose, the move, whichever was open on the opponent, that I wouldn't think. I would immediately just act on it. And for 3 years, I did about 18 tournaments and I never lost a fight. Never, never, never. And my longest fight was 1 minute. Every single pretty much average of my fights were 15 seconds. So, but why? Because, you know, so many times. And even after, you know, the tournament, I would go and start doing 1,500 on each position a day. It's not like I stopped there and was comfortable. I just kept pushing, 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 right? So that's what you need to do. You have to see that setup so many times, so many times, so many times that it becomes second nature. And then you're a beast. I mean, sometimes I would walk in, I look at the guy, he would walk out, he wouldn't run, he would walk out of the tatami. I don't know how to say English, of the, you know, so, but yeah, when I was there, I meant business, the same thing. When you go to a trade, you know, you see one thing, you just go and bang it, and then you're done. Oh, Sarmade, Kati, you know, you won. So, but to be able to get there, I have this cat that just keeps coming back. You need to do this with repetition, okay? I'm gonna go over a few trades and a few setups that we had yesterday and today. Today was really, really slow. There was really just a couple trades that came to attention. And, but that's the beauty of this after you've been doing this for, you know, for a while, is even though I just took one trade today, okay? Even though it's like a lot, you know, this normally in a normal day, I take 5 to, well, during earning season, about 15 trades. But any given day, I'd say the average between, I'd say the average about 8 trades, okay? Today was 1. And this is very important. Even though I just took one trade, it feels really good because it doesn't feel that I missed anything because I was on top. I was looking for every single setup I could at the open. I did miss CHWY. That one I did miss. But my point is it feels really good because I'm not trying to find something that is not there, right? If there's no trades, you just don't take, just wait for next one because you're gonna have a next one. If not today, you're gonna have tomorrow, but we are going to have, you know, on a normal day where you have at least 1, 2 trades in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then we're done for the day, right? So just remind yourselves always, even though there's no setups, if you don't see anything, you don't take any trades, it's fine. Really good friend of mine, I hope he's listening to this. He came, I think he started Tuesday, and since Tuesday, he took 2 trades, but one Wednesday and one yesterday. Today, nothing. He didn't take setups. And this guy is someone that's been trading for about 20 years. He just gave up all the other strategies. This guy trades for 20 years. For last year or so, he just gave up all the strategies that he knew how to trade, and that's all he's doing. That's all he's doing. The only type of trading he's doing. And he actually, he said, no trades today, just 2 trades this week, but feels awesome. Why? Because when you see that right setup, you just know you can take, make your money. And if you have a lot of conviction based on a certain criteria, if matches what we're looking for, then you can go with a little bit of more size. They'll come with time, the more you're exposed to this. But always remind yourselves, you don't really have to work, to trade every day. And another thing that is very important to remember, yesterday it wasn't like really busy, crazy busy day, right? At the open, we had 1 or 2 trades and that's it. But then do you remember what happened at the close? Let me show you. If someone wasn't around, didn't see it. And Ricky or Linus, if you're around, please, if you have other names, remind me, okay? If you just need to have AAP. Thank you, Scooby. Hey, Scooby, how are you? AAP was another one. There are like 5, at least 5 yesterday into the close that did this. Look at AAP. What a beautiful, look at that. From 83.60 to 80, oh God, to 89. Look at this. You have just to sit. You're sitting here, let me go 1 minute, okay? And you say, well, it's easy now to show. No, the people in the room took these trades yesterday. If you go back in the room, the history, you see they were posting this in the last 5 minutes. It wasn't the scanner. The scanner was like blowing up like a Christmas tree on Fifth Avenue. And boom, 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 you see 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. I mean, you look back, it was 84 to 89 in pretty much 8 minutes. MCK, Kroger, yeah, there are like at least 5, probably 10, because there's so many, it's hard to be on top of all of them, right? But look at MCK, RTN, Kroger, yeah, there's just so many. But it was like this, but going back to my point, you can have a slow open, which, you know, the first 15, 20, 30 minutes, and then you come back for the close and see some things going on. You don't have to be sitting here the whole day. I talk about this many times, I'm not going to go over again, but don't waste your time, your, you know, your life, your back, your butt, sitting here the whole day. There's a lot of things that can be out there, you know, doing, even if it's not for yourself or someone else. So just try to do that for about 3-6 months, and you thank me later. To me, what matters when you talk about trading is all about where the stock's coming from and where am I go to. On this case, this baby, the trading is you assess where the best area to enter the trade, and then you decide, it's your best educated guess, and then where you have, you know, the most chances to have the trade going in your favor from the moment that you take the trade. And then if it works, that's good. That's not perfect. It's good because that's what you expected to happen, right? If it doesn't work, you can either stop or you can reassess and see, okay, how do I manage this? It's not black or white. In trading, you have a chance, as long as there's no catalyst, as long as there's not a conference call going on, as long as there isn't a, you know, some major negative news or the government contract lost or you know, Corona or nothing that is moving the market crazily, because then of course it's just going to be completely out of whack. But as long as you have some kind of order. And listen, when you talk about the opening balance, there's an order there in a way that there's the sellers are prevailing. Let's say the stock's coming down, like in this case, GTS. The sellers are prevailing over the buyers. That's why I take trades like this. If I see 10 trades like this, I take every single one at the open. Now, fast forward, forget the time down here. Let's pretend it's 11 o'clock in the morning or 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If this happens, I don't take it, because this at the open means that it's just a pure amount of sellers that are coming in that overshadow the number of buyers. And then it comes back like, you know, throw a rock on the lake, right? You have those first, you know, the ripple, then the little waves, and then comes back to normal, right? Ripple, wave, and then back to normal. That's the normal, right? Now, if this happens in the middle of the day, after, you know, when you're supposed to have all the flush of orders because they open, then there's a reason for that move. Then you have to take your time to figure out what the reason is. And it can be really bad. I mean, it can be like something that is a fraud report, or the company admitted to fraud, or SEC is after it. Or many times I see the FBI is raiding an office from a company. You see a stock at 40 and then goes to 38, 35, and in your head you're like, oh my God, this is like awesome. I mean, it was just 40, now it's 35. Oh, thank you. Thank you, brother. And goes to 35, and your head as a new trader, you're like, oh, this is a great opportunity. This thing is coming down, already lost 10%. So it must be, you know, the bottom. Let me try to guess. But you can't, because you don't know the underlying reason for that move. And that's when you get hurt, right? That's why you need to, and by the way, by the time this happens at 11, noon, 1, 2 in the afternoon, you're not even supposed to be there anyways. You're supposed to be something somewhere else, doing something else. Or worst case scenario, here, just going back of all the options, the opportunities that you had at the open, going through the chat room and seeing what the moderators posted. Let me take a look at the sticker. Why would I have taken this trade or not? Oh, I see. Okay, okay. So the next day you're going to be more prepared. Okay, don't gamble with your money, guys, because I tell you, you are going to give to someone else. You are going to, you know, throughout the day, someone actually that I welcome criticism. Okay, I welcome very, very much, as long as the person is polite. 100%. Someone, and probably Dan, I don't know if you're gonna like him talk about this, but someone sent an email last night saying that this strategy that I trade is very yeah, okay, I will. This strategy is very basic. He's been trading for a year. Well, let me tell you this. I've been trading 25 more times than you have been trading. And doesn't mean that I know better than anybody. I don't, because as you heard in the past from me, I made a lot of mistakes. I did great. I did awesome, where I was making several million a year, to when that strategy stopped. What did I do? I kept trying to make something that no longer was working work, because I thought it's going to come back to work. It's going to start to work again. Never did, and I paid dearly in health, in money, in time, and hair for it. So listen, I'm not doing this because I need the money, whatever you're paying per month. It's very welcome. That's one thing I've learned that about 8 years ago. You know, there's nothing wrong with have multiple streams of income, okay? But what I'm telling you, I'm not trying to, you know, to be, you know, scare you out, or, you know, it is the truth. I have seen so many people coming to the market with the best intentions, but because of boredom, because of lack of preparation, because of, oh, I'll give you an example in a second. Let me write this down, because actually I don't want to forget. They just go, and after 2-3 months, they are just beaten by the market. Let me tell you one thing. You can have several ways of trading. I mean, there are hundreds of strategies out there, right? Of ways that you can learn how to do this. Each one have their own merit and not. But let me tell you one thing. Of every single year, and I have done this several times, I haven't done this year again yet. I go back to what I was doing at a certain time on my trading life. Nothing, I'm telling you, nothing beats this strategy. You can buy breakouts, you can short breakdowns, you can trade on news. It doesn't matter. Everything is based on what? Fear and greed. When it comes down to trading, it's fear and greed. You can have RSI, you can have Bollinger Bands, you can have whatever you want. They work. Fibonacci, I love Fibonacci. I always did. As a matter of fact, when I started trading 25 years ago, I wasn't prepared as you are now, being here with us. So I started to see patterns, and the idiot here, I start to write down numbers in a formula, and I thought I was like the biggest thing since, you know, sliced bread, because I thought I invented this system, and then I found out that it already existed, which was Fibonacci. I was so proud, you know, cocky, and one day I went, and there was this guy that I met, and he was trading for a few years more than I did. I was like, oh, I found something I need to show you, and please don't tell anybody. And then he was like, you idiot, that's Fibonacci. It already exists. It exists for 200 years. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, but anyways, I love Fibonacci. But what matters in trading is greed and fear. When you see a level where you see most people giving up, that was fear. And you look, what was the last, where is the level where fear is going to be hitting the most, where you should be buying. Because this line right here, you see this pink line, that's the last time that when fear hits the most, buyers came in. you don't have to guess. If you don't have that, you see this and you're just wondering, as if you were buying a falling knife, right? But you have this in front of you. This is the level where fear stopped the last time, and that's where I'm buying. When it starts to go up, I'm gonna go put the ZM here. When it starts to go up, there you go. CVX, same thing, look at yesterday. I was salivating to get to 79.50 because look at this. This thing will have gone from 72 to 79.60, 10%. And I know the crude oil, CL, always when you trade in these refiners or oil transportation, you always need to have an eye on the on the crude oil. I normally just have the crude oil futures up, which in on eSignal is CL pound F, right? So, but it doesn't matter. Something runs 10%. I was salivating to take this. It didn't hit there, so I was okay. Let's wait to see if it comes back down. It did. You know, from the moment it came down and then went back up another 2 points or so. I took dollar or something. Of course, this is the middle of the day. You should not even be here. But I've been trading more during the day lately because, you know, like everybody else, we can't go anywhere. So I do things around the house, but at one point I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sit and take, but I don't sit and just take any setup. I sit and I take the setups. 78 to 74, yes, I take that. You know, especially on this run down here for 76 30s to 74 30s, 2 points in 7 minutes. Yes, thank you. If you had run back down here, I would have to look at this area, this area, this area, this area, this area, this area, this area. And if you came back here, yes, I would have bought here as well. So I bought here, it bounced, great. But now, Adriano, if you bought here and if it went against you, I buy here. And you're like, oh my God, you would be $2 down on this trade. Hey, look at this. It's coming from 78. You see what he did when it went from 72 to 78? Pretending that went down here, right? Look at this. You see, is how it came all the way back down. So 100%. And another thing, of course, obviously, if I missed this long and kept coming down, I would have started the trade here. Now you can say, why don't you just wait to start the trade here instead of taking a risk here? I'm not taking a risk here because it's coming from 78 to 74, 4 points. That's 5.7%. So you have to tell yourself, always, always, always ask yourself, where is this stock coming from? And how long did it take for that to happen, right? You ask yourself, you write on your monitor, remind yourself to ask yourself that. That makes you calmer when you take the trade. You don't start second guess or freak out. Oh man, no. Oh, Adriano, suck. And you see, just patience, because when this is happening, you're looking at this, it's like, oh, you know, a lot of people that shorted here on this break, they see, trust me, people that make a difference when they trade, they are looking at this. Noobs are people that like just to trade on their own thing. And of course it works, but ask them after 10, 15, 20 years that they're trading, if they're around, how much it works. I'm not, for God's sake, I'm not trying to bash anybody. I'm just saying that I've tried it, all of this, and it doesn't work. What works is this. What we're telling you. Someone told me yesterday is, I mean, he's a really close friend. He's actually a mod in the room. You know, he's listening to us now. He actually said, you know what? Let me pause here for a second. I'm not going to put his name, but those were his words right there. And he's absolutely right. There's so many. I mean, the people out there that selling, you know, programs charging $3,000, $5,000 for moving average crosses. Well, come on, man. Don't. I posted in the room as well, Ricky, on the trading floor. Just give some time. You have absolutely no idea how, if you're starting trading now, how lucky you are to be exposed to this. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. Okay, Always. And this, yes, is going to be on our scanner, 27430s. It will be in the scanner. So it's there. You just have to be watching, okay? People assume they can learn the most complicated skill, trading, overnight or in 1 week, because they all see these videos and think they can do just the same. We all need to understand that it takes time, effort, discipline, and persistence. We go to school for decades to qualify for a basic job, and trading is far from basic. No, you're 100% right, Fuad. You are 100% right. Trading is one of the most rewarding professions or activity or job that you can have in your life. You know, I'm sitting here in my house when we're in shorts. Ricky is just wearing shorts, no shirt, probably wearing a Speedo, and
Yeah.
it's. I mean, you have that freedom, but you know, like for everything else, there's a price. It's you absolutely need to be able to master, and in trading, the beauty of this, or you know, to me, I see as a beauty now. Probably when I started, it wasn't so poetic. About it. Is that it's not just something that it's always not a fight, but a conflict with what our basic instincts are, right? What are our basic instincts, as to talk about as humans, is like we avoid pain, right? Nobody wants pain. So if something brings you fear or makes you nervous, the natural response is to stop it, to get away from it. And trading is the opposite. You actually need to thrive as you're exposed to risk. So it's always that internal fight that you need to be aware when you are about to take a position, when you enter a position, when you are in the position, on how to remind yourself why you're doing that. I don't know if most of you remember what I mentioned when I was young, when I was doing judo, that I practiced for so long, so many times that when I go in a competition, I'll be done in 15 seconds, in 30 seconds on my fights, right? It's not because I was extraordinary. No, it's by far I wasn't extraordinary at that, but I was more extraordinary than my opponents. Because like the other 60 kids that would go to the class with me, they would go to the class for 3 hours, some wouldn't even sweat. But they would do while I was there every day doing 3,000 times the attack, the pose, whatever that is called, right? So of course, when the competition would come, I would fight with anybody from the state, and then I went to the nationals with people that were good, but they didn't put 3,000 times doing, you know, which is 1,000 times for each position every single day, 5 days a week into it. The same thing for training. And when the fight would start, I would look them in their eyes. They knew it was coming. They just didn't know how bad or how fast it was going to be and how much it was going to hurt. Because trust me, I would hurt as much as I could. I mean, if they put their foot in there, I expect them to try to hurt me, so I will do the same to them. And they had that fear in their eyes. I never had. Why? Because I had the confidence based on my practice that I had before. And that same confidence that you acquire when you trade based on practicing for so long. You may have a red day. Yeah, you lost 1 point in that fight. But by the end of the week, you're gonna win that fight. And I use a fight, but that's not a really great analogy, because trading to me is not really, you know, is not something that should be seen as a conflict. That's something that you need to be better, you need to be stronger. No, you are the best trader when you just are a piece, completely piece. You see a setup, you take. Dan can attest to this. How many times I've been in a trade extremely heavy. RCL this week was one of them. I took, and I show the levels I took, went against me, and went against me 2 points. But just to start, I forgot that I was in the trade, okay? And this is what happened, okay?
Yeah, I think you were happy when it went against you, which is
yeah, I know it sounds
the exact same.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you said that. Yeah, weird, but it is true. I mean, it is true. Look at this. I took this trade when again, you know, just because you went from 28, and I don't tell anybody to do this. What you do is wait for this, right? That's what I said. That's what you, as a new trader, you should do. You always should do this. But to me, it came from 28.50s to 32. It was a good enough area for me to go ahead and take the trade. And so I did. I took the trade because worst case scenario, if you went here, I would add, right? So I was in a 32 and then start to go against. And I actually was doing other things. I even forgot I was in the trade. And I put the same size that I got in here into here. Now actually I put twice as much because I was like, if it gets here, there's no way. And listen, this is, I'm not doing the double WAP or nothing that. There's nothing to do with that. This stock is not going to go from, like the CVX trade, it's not going to go from 28 to 35 without taking a breath, without coming back, okay? So yes, you went against, but I could very, very, very easily, I mean, I had plenty of time. I had minutes to go. I had, you know, 1, 2, 3 minutes to get out the position and then just put the order there. Or if you reversed, take it, which is what, you know, I would tell anyone. So just wait, then you take the trade. But I felt confident, and then I felt 100% confident when I was in this trade here. That's what I was seeing, right? See, the previous day came here and came back. So I was like, it's probably going to do the same. It didn't. So that's okay. So what I did, I went and I put an order here. Could have stopped here for minimal 20 cents, 30 cents stop. But no, it's, and again, I don't know everything. Please, you know, get that. It's, and you need to be very, very familiar with whatever you're doing, the strategy and the move of the stocks to, you know, to have a good feel what you should do or you shouldn't. But I know this stock enough that if it comes back to this level, coming back from 28 is going to come back. So that's why I was 100% at peace. There was no nervous. I was singing while I was in this trade because I was looking at this thing. I completely even forgot that I was on this. And then I heard ching, 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 ching. And I look and I had, you know, thick size on this thing. So, okay. So my average was around here. And then I just held and held into the day. And you know, my last exit was for 2 points. But that comes back to being at peace. You see, when most of us, when we're trading, you know, this each candle here is 1 minute, right? In our minds, we forget that this is 10 o'clock in the morning and you still have 5 hours, 6 hours into the close. Most of us in our minds is, this is the beginning and the rest of my trading life. There is nothing after this. That's it. There's nothing. It's a big black hole. There's nothing. We don't just think, wait a minute, what's going to happen 1 minute? What's going to happen 5 minutes from now? No, everything is, Papa, I want you, no, shut up, shut up, shut up. So just go back and just realize that, you know, there is more. Hey man, all this extra breathing, you just flooded my brain with a, so
Oh, that's funny.
look, you know, remind yourselves, okay, we are, you know, 1 hour into the trade, you know, the time, 40 minutes, whatever. Let's see what's going to happen in a day. Do you really think a stock without news? Do you really think at the beginning of a stock, you run from 28, 29 to 35, is going to keep going? I mean, oh, I'm sorry, is it going to keep going? Unless the market is like in a crazy run, in a mad dash, then, you know, it could, but I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I haven't seen ever, unless there's news. Then, of course, everything's off the table. There's a catalyst, and then you should not even be in that trade to start with. You understand the difference, right? If there's a reason for it. In that case, there's no reason, okay? And another thing, let me go back here. This is very important, and I keep going back and showing this pie chart because I want to see you to understand and take this always into consideration. You see right here is this March 31st at 10 a.m. right in 10. You see where this this pie was, right? It was coming back from this level, right, to this level. You're always looking, what if something just hits the fan? How bad it's going to be? SPY is not going to go from here to these 2 levels without some reason. And there was no reason. There's no news that came out. It just held there, and then broke and came back. So always have like a major index. It doesn't have to be the one that is part of the stock that you're trading. Like if you in a semiconductor, you need to be looking at the stocks, right? That you see. I like to see the overall market, because that's enough of a breath for me to make a decision if I want to stick with that trade or not. If the whole market, in this case, the SPY, SP 500, is going to a major level of resistance, and that stock is so overextended for the day, yeah, please go to 35 when I got that fuel at 32.60. I want you, okay? So, oh wow, that's a nice drop. It's just, well, it's 10%, right? So 50 cents. Would I have taken this trade here? Honestly, no. Why? Because I'd rather get something that if it's coming from 6 to 560, right, from this move, that's 40 cents, right? So was that 7%? It's not bad. But since you have a quarterly here, I'd rather buy on this quarterly level. Especially, you see right here on the 60-minute, this quarterly was a nice level area. So, and of course, this was awesome too on the 560s, and that's where it bounced. But I'd rather have the conviction to wait for like the sweet spot to take the trade. Would I, if I was watching this, would I have taken this trade? I said no. I probably, if I saw, I didn't see it, but I probably would have entered with a third of normal size, but adding the other 2/3 if you got to this level. And then where would I be looking to take a profit? Halfway in here, so about 20 cents. So we make 20 cents on a $5 stock. Yeah, I do that all day long for sure. Did I take this trade? No, I didn't see it. I don't know. I was distracted. I was doing other things. But yeah, it's, in this case, if I'm looking at this, that's a monthly, quarterly, and weekly, right? I always gonna defer to the quarterly if it's that close. If I look here on the 60-minute, you can see that it held pretty nicely on the 5.5, 560 level, which is where it held here. Again, would I have taken a little piece, but mainly because my conviction, I have been to enter at 540. That's where I have taken a trade, and with conviction, and I have gone with good size. Yeah, Jason, thank you. Jason saying, Adriano ZM, I watched you post and I almost took the trade with you, but did not. There was time to grab after you posted. Yeah, there were like literally 5 minutes there. And remember, when I posted, I was actually on the, let me go back to the ZM, because that's, important to clarify. I was planning, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but once you get more familiarized with the strategy, because I wanted to add here 110, and then you say, wait a minute, you bought a 114 and you wanted to come in and to go down 4 points against you, so buy 110? Yes, 100%. And my question to you all is, why? What do you have to look before you take a trade? You need to look where it is coming from, right? So in this case, Zoom was dropping from 125. So I bought a 114, which was already 11 points from where it started to come down, what, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes prior. So yeah, I want to buy that. I want to go to 110. Why? Because on 110 we have, so, and look at this on the 60 minutes. See right here how thick this area was for what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days, 12 days. So yes, 100%. I want the stock to go against me so I can add here. But not because I just bought because I had FOMO. I bought because I already bought 11 points in about 30 minutes that had dropped to an area where it was showing, was looking like was being support, which was, and then yes, I would 100% add here. And then you ask, oh, what if went below 109? That's a very valid question. it comes down to what is the reason that is dropping this much. In the room, I made a comment. It was dropping a lot because Google told employees to completely stop using Zoom on their working computers, right? Yeah, it's valid, but this breach, this news about the Zoom breach, being out for 3-4 days prior to that. How many millions of Google employers are out there? I don't think there's that many. Is relevant? Yeah, because it's Google saying it. But at the same time, it's not something that is not going to at least warrant a bounce, especially being so close to the closing time, right? So did I see this thing going to 1010 and maybe possibly breaking through 109? This is not like a fraud report or there's the company coming up with false statements about their earnings or whatever. No, it's just it was a breach of confidential, the users, the emails, some other people, China, whatever, had access to, they weren't supposed to. Is bad? Yes, it is. But I'm not talking about holding the stock for 1 day, a week, a month. I'm talking 10-minute trade, a 20-minute trade. So yes, 100% I can see this thing bouncing off these levels. Going back to it, what if we broke 109? Well, then I would stop. But the chances that we hit 109 and doesn't bounce at least 112 are extremely slim. I had someone sending me a private message saying, well, you're risking $3-4 to make $2. And that's I don't think that's the right way to trade. And that the answer I gave to him and the answer I give to anybody. And by all means, don't think I'm being overconfident or cocky with this. My answer is this: keep following those set of rules and come back with me in 25 years, because that's how long I've been trading. That's how long I've been using these rules. Okay, so that's how I see it. If I had to stop, goes under 109, I see it's getting close to the closing time, and it's still I see a lot of selling, I stop. Yeah, but 8, 9 times out of 10 is going to work. And you have to trade 3-1, 2-1, or you can make trading. That's if you're trading without a set of areas of support or resistance where you're taking these trades. When I put the results out there and I say homework, if you go by every single one of these results that the alert, the filter gave, and take a look, even if you took the trade in a certain level and you added on the next, I'm telling you, 99% of the time you're having fine on the trade. Maybe it went against you. Yes, that's why you added, but you have plenty of time to manage to, if not make a profit on it, at least get out even. That's the beauty of this. You're not guessing. You're not just out of like everybody else out there. Oh, where's the next moving average line? Where's VWAP is? Which, if it works for them, I'm never gonna bash anybody by the way they trade here. But take your time to learn how we are doing this. Then you realize that this is one of the most relaxed, stressless or stress-free type of trading that you can have, because okay, you came to here. Even if you took the trade right here in the beginning, 118, okay, that came down, it still bounced from 118 to 120 right here. Even if you made, if you took that first move of the trade, which, you want to wait a little bit to see how bad it's going to be. You want to wait like 2-3 candles to see where to enter the trade. Boom, boom, boom. Or even here. So even if you took here, you still had $1-2 here profit. If you waited and you took it here in the previous day, on this day's open, which we don't do that, it still bounced 4 points. Even if you waited to take here on this level, that's where I took, which was of course it worked out from here. But why did I take the trade here? Why didn't I wait for here? Because in my mind, it wasn't going to get here. If it did, I was I would be I would have been, very glad to add here, but I didn't. So was this a FOMO trade? No, because I was waiting, watching, and my assessment was this from here to here into these 2 levels right here. But it's the type of trade that because it lost so much based on the news, I really don't think I was going to hit this level. And that's why I started trade here. And when I took the trade, I said immediately where I was going to sell, right? I said 115.70s and 116.60s, right? So when I took the trade here, I said, I'm gonna go 1 minute. So yeah, I'm being extremely happy if I added there. But once I post my order got filled, I said, the price was still here, 114. I posted, I'm selling 115.70, if I'm not mistaken, and 116.60. So price was here. I was already saying, I'm selling here and here, okay? And then the price started to move. A couple times, almost got to my price, came back. Then I finally got filled, and then I got filled again. And then that was it, right? So, but when we were here, everybody knew already where I was planning to get out and for how much. Okay, and that's how we do here, always ahead of time. Wait a minute. ZM long to the 157, exit 117. Okay, William, no. He's asking if he executed properly by taking a long to 115.77. That's a good question. And I'm very happy that worked out for you, okay? But would I have taken that trade where you did? No. Why? First, 115.77, and I know it was 119 pre-market, right? The high was 119.90 pre-market. What I would have been looking to take this trade was either on this level right here. That's where I put the note on the chart pre-market, right? I think I put it right on 114. So I want to go back to the level where I took the trade yesterday for a long, because it came to here, bounced, and then went up, right? So that's the level that's relevant to me, especially by the time I put that note out there, the image on the chart, on the chat room, it was a 119. So yeah, it comes from 119 back to under 114, so minus 5 points into the level they held yesterday. Yes, that's where we have bought. 115.77, I think that's a little risky. Worked out, Jason, William, but you want to get into, by the time you get into this thing, all the sellers are exhausted, right? They're done selling. And that's you want to step in. Where you took, worked out, but it was a little bit of a luck on that one. So I'll be very careful, okay? Because this thing moved so much yesterday, you look for what? An area where he held. Now, if ZM was 116, this morning, pre-market, and then would I have put an order here to buy 114? No, absolutely not. I put the order, the alert at 114 because it was trading on 19. It was trading on 119. So a 5-point drop into this area, yes. Now, let's assume this morning was trading on 116, 117. Where would I have put my buys? Right here at 110, where I wanted to have the ad yesterday, right? Just remember, let everybody else fight in the middle. You don't want to be, struggling, fighting with everybody. Let everybody just, this example, let them figure out what to do, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win. Start to get flat, I don't know, that start to find a balance, right? That's when the sellers are kind of done. And that's when you're going. That's where the level I'll be looking for today to take the long when the sellers are done. See right here, right at the open, boom, came to that level and then bounced. So 115.77, I think was a bit risky. Now, if you bought on the bounce back up, looking for this level right here, that it makes a little sense. Yeah, it makes a little more sense. But if you bought on the way down, I wouldn't do that. I would just sit on those levels and wait for my order to get filled. Listen, it hit right under 114. On pre-market, we had the arrow there, 114, right? So if you just left your order there, you have got filled. And then, oh, okay, I got filled 114. It's coming down. Oh my God, it's 113 now. If there's no news, there's no catalyst, nothing new. Everything is just pretty much what happened yesterday. Then I just go and buy again. I put another order to buy at that 110 level where I wanted yesterday. Okay, so be careful. You need to be patient, guys, when you put your orders in, and you need to have a reason Not a reason because it feels like, like a very educated by what the chart is showing you, there's going to be a significant area of support or resistance. Hope I don't have anything. There I go. So this morning, right? Everybody had this. We posted in the room. So I was planning to do a lot today, but the problem, there are so many stocks gapping out of their regular range, and by regular I mean last 3, 4, 5 days, that I didn't have many to pick from. But I put this 4 out, right? So I'm gonna click here and let's go one by one. For example, ZM. ZM, I put that, I already talked about this. The possible buy zone, which was, right there on 114, which was that level yesterday, and the short 125, right? So what happens? This is what I had available at that time when I posted this. Was 9 o'clock in the morning, whatever. That's what I saw. So when you look, what do? You go back in 2, 3, 5 minute chart and see, let's see what the levels, these areas are going to be the most support and resistance. Now, very, very important. You want to make sure that the stock's not trading there. Because if it's already trading in an area of support or resistance, remember I mentioned this, right? You don't want to put a buy there because it's already showing that that level, the area is being a magnet to it. So there's enough weakness. Let's pretend that ZM was trading at 114, 114.50 when I put these alerts, right? Would I have put this in? No, because it's already showing weakness being too close to this level. You want to be like halfway through a range. If it comes from here 118 to 114, yes, then I take that 4-point drop because it held here and held here in previous day, right? Would I short if we go to 125.60? My God, yes, I take that short. I mean, I take my shirt off and stick my chest out there and say, hit me, because why? Everybody that was short here, they're getting desperate to get out into this level. And I tell you, they don't know what this level is because 99% of the people don't know. You do. You're paying for this. You're taking the time to learn. Most people are there just, shooting from the hip. And that's why they don't stick around long. And that's why most of you, and I hope all of you, are still here and trading and being very successful 1, 2, 3, 20 years from now, right? Put the time in it, try to understand. So yeah, pre-market, I went and put these alerts, send the room, and yeah, a bunch of people got into 114. Awesome, that's perfect trade. You really don't have to tell me, thank you, great heads up. You really don't have to, because you posted the trade. I mean, you took the trade, you hit the button. You have to pat yourself on the back. This is just for, I'm giving a heads up. This level is great. I honestly, you really don't have to say anything because I mean, you're paying us to be here, right? To get this. So it's just, it's the minimum you can do. So anytime we have a setup that seems like is meaningful and should be there, of course, we're going to be sharing. All right. Yeah, but make sure that you take the trade, not because we have an arrow here and it's like, oh, and by the way, you see all the other buy where it was right there on 110. So you don't take the trade just because you're saying, oh, this is resistance, this is support. No, there's several factors that you always need to take in consideration. When the market opened, if Zoom had news, what do? Would you still short here, like positive news? Would you still short? Got a government contract or whatever. Will you still short here? No, absolutely not. Because there's a catalyst that might be pushing this thing higher. Or, oh, now the SEC or whatever is investigating ZM because of this or that. Would you take a long here? If it starts to come down, once this news starts to come out? Of course not. The beauty of trading right at the open the first 2, 3, 5 minutes is that it's very, very, very rare that any of these news is going to be coming out at that time, right? Is it the open? There's no news coming out, almost impossible. That's why you want to be trading that bang, open, you get that discrepancy in price, that craziness, then you go and you're pretty much done. Right? So that's one. That's ZM. EHTH, another one. So EHTH, take a look here. EHTH. We had the buy a 101. Yeah, I mean, it was perfect right here too. EHTH, it hit right here. The low was just under $100. and we had the alert to buy of 101.50, 101.46, right? 101.50, right? So it came, it was against us about 50, 60 cents, but then it went as high as, whew, $113. So you went all the way up to this level right here, right? And then came back down. So if you had got to 117, you take to short, 100%. Oh yeah, I didn't, right? So always, take consideration of everything else that is happening to the stock, to the market, to decide if you take that trade. Especially if it's in the first 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes, yes, take that trade. Okay, but now let's move along. Was Delta, DAL. That's why, in pre-market, soon Linus does that a lot. He puts his levels, his orders. So a lot of times I have like live orders. When the market opens, these crazy orders go and get filled. Now, if it's like a crazy price way off, I can go ahead and put a full size. If it's like close enough, but I'm not 100% comfortable, what do? I put those pilot orders, right? Just in case orders that if it gets there, it gets my attention, right? And I already talked about this in the previous webinar, so I'm not gonna go over again. But always, pilot orders are really, really useful to get your attention. So I'm gonna take this down here. So, okay, I'm going to the next one. So my routine team, just to wrap that up, is pre-market. I pretty much look at everything that is going up and down. I take a look at the news. I use Trading News as news sources, which is here, and it just they broadcast. So I actually hear everything that is going on, anything that is relevant. Like for example, last night there was a great trade. I was sitting here and Disney came out with the news, right? That they surpassed 50 million subscribers to their Disney Plus, right? Great news. Unfortunately, when I saw the news, Disney was already up a couple bucks, right? So a lot of times I can be sitting here and the news come out and it's still, there's enough sellers at closing price, right? So when I saw it was like 103, 104, I think. But did I take this long? No, because I didn't want to just chase. What was I doing? I was waiting here at 108 to take the short, right? Took a short at 108. Boom, right here, 1 point. Right? And then went up and up again. I held a couple more times and I took another 108 short. And I think I got like 50 or 70 cents on here. But why? Because it was holding around this very important level, which is actually, but remember, this is after hours, okay? So it's not like we have the same amount of volume that we would take if was trading intraday. So we may not, we can't expect to be like, perfect to the tick, because again, not many sellers, not many traders out there, right? Not many trades going through as it would, as if the market was open. Oh my God, 83 message. I'm gonna be here for a while. I know this small cap, but I could go over PSTI. PSTI. This is from Bryce. I saw a big spike, then retrace about half the move, 605. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I wish I saw that one. I mean, look at that. It kissed the, he went from 520 to 740. Oh God, yeah, that was pre-market when it hit. So if I saw this, I have to take this trade, 100%. I don't see it. So let me see what you did here, Bryce. I entered when he held 605. Oh, you took a long, I guess. Yeah, you held here, okay. Well, remember, it came from 740 to 6. So I entered the weekly 605. The month, I thought it was a break. Yeah, the 70 cents is a beautiful trade, man. Okay, yeah, I did everything right on that one. I wish I saw it. It was right before the open. That would have been tough for me to catch. Do you track DIA when trading Dow? You can, but I just like to look at the SPY. I don't want to be, just the SPY and the S futures, and pretty much they're going to be moving in tandem, give or take a few, a percentage or so. So I just like Ezequiel Garcia. I just follow pretty much the SPY and the S. Okay. Okay. Hi everyone, just joined. I asked a question I was already answered. Please disregard. I'd like to understand better dynamics for placing stop losses. DLJ, uh, this being covered in a previous webinar, how to place stop losses, increase the position, and so on. So please go back on the previous webinars that we gave last week and should have answers to that question. If by any chance, after you watch a couple times, you have any more questions, please send me a private message and I try to help you as much as I can, okay? I do everything I can to clarify as much as possible, okay? But please go over those lessons so it can be clear. Okay, that was for DLJ. But I need to have some tough love here. You absolutely have to watch the masterclass 1, 2, 3, 5 times. I mean, after that, there's the extended version where Dan gave some 101 classes and is there too, and that's an extra 2 hours. You have to watch that. It's, please don't expect to come here on day one. We don't want you just to follow what we're doing. A lot of people say, oh, I just came to follow. That's one of the worst things that you can do to yourself, to your family, to your life. Why, if we're giving you all the tools to learn how to do this here by yourself, why are you settling in just expecting to be fed when you pretty much have all the tools to go ahead and to hunt yourself? Right? Something happens to us. I mean, anything can happen. Who knows? And we're done. We can't trade anymore or whatever. I mean, then you're done. Just put your time and learn. Go over every single video lesson that you have out there. I mean, I think by now we have what, 8, 10 hours? After today, for sure, you're going to have over 10 hours. I mean, just, one day we have a 3-day weekend. Go to over these recordings, get a nice cup of coffee, nice cup of tea, and just, spend an hour, 2 hours each time. By the time Sunday night comes, you went through all of them. And then you do again, you mark, the video a certain time, you write down, then something wasn't clear, you go back to the exact spot later on, the day in the week and watch it again. Have a question, not really clear, let me write this down. Write the question, then ask us during the week in the chat, okay? But you have to put the time, guys. I'm asking, I don't want to say beg because I don't say that word, but you owe this to yourself to do this right. And it's not just following, it's understanding what we're doing and then implementing to yourself, to your own trading, okay? If you bought here and came here, add here, because look at this, thick area, right? Oh man, I wish I saw this one. Oh, okay, so, well, I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory, right? I mean, 640 within the last, what time was that? You go back 15 minutes. It's coming from 58.30 to 56.40, so that's $1.90. What's the distance for a stock of $50? In 40 minutes, or actually it's 40 minutes, right? Hold on a second, it's 40 minutes. 19, so 14, 57, that's not enough here, but it's probably enough here on the 40. Yeah, it is enough. I mean, obviously it's enough when you go back 40 minutes. So yeah, I mean, that's a textbook trade. This one, no, of course, it's not enough, right, on the distance. I mean, here, of course, this is not no-go because it's just a previous day close. But this, you go back 40 minutes, for sure you have the distance that you need to have, and then you have the bounce. I mean, this is literally a textbook trade. You don't take because you don't see it. I don't know what I was doing. For sure I was distracted in something else. But that's another thing to the room, say, you guys make money trading, why are you charging? Do you see how many times I said already, oh, I don't know what I was doing, I was distracted. I was going over, just today I had probably over 60 private messages that I had to go through. And all of them, I answer everybody. If you send me a message, I know it might take a couple hours, might take a day, but I will answer your message. So, and that takes a good 2-3 hours out of the day, and that's time that, you know, I could be taking these trades, right? I could be taking that win bounce back down. So I could be taking this trade or taking this trade. But at this time, for sure, I was answering messages. So trust me, I don't have a problem at all answering questions, but 100 times I'd rather be trading. But, you know, it's a balancing act, right? So